Good morning, Danny. It's May something. I'm not entirely sure. 1 second. Good morning, Danny. It's May 29th. Danny, if you notice, this is a different perspective than you're used to seeing me in. So there's a reason that this video is going to be kind of shaky. One, because I move around a lot when I do this. And apparently when you move around, it looks like this. But the second thing is that I actually forgot my tripod at the other place, but not really the tripod. It's the little wooden thing that I put my phone into so that it doesn't, so it stands where it's supposed to be and I can record the videos with you and things happen. I haven't gotten a lot of sleep, I'm gonna be honest. And the last thing I ate was, I think a Cliff Bar, like, hours ago, and I don't mean like 2, I mean like several hours ago. Apparently my body has decided that when this thing happens, when I don't get enough sleep and I don't get enough food, it's decided that the best course of action is to give myself a headache, which is not cool, body. I don't appreciate that. But it's a thing that my body does in order to get me to eat or to sleep or to do both. I'm not entirely sure, but I apparently am supposed to do them. So let's talk about why I didn't actually get a whole lot of sleep last night. Okay, so the whole reason that I couldn't sleep last night is that I had this terrible, really terrifying nightmare that I don't even want to remember because I woke up and just was scared out of my mind. And I hate that my mind has this big repertoire of stuff that it can pull from at any moment to fill into my head when I'm trying to sleep. Why do I never dream about physics? I just want equations to show up all the time and then I have to solve them. That would be way less terrifying than what happened. I went to bed at like midnight and I woke up at like 3:20 this morning and just really scared and I needed to go back to sleep but I couldn't. So that was awful. But in the course of me not being able to sleep, I tend to look up stuff because I need to do something. And what I actually found out was that there was a study done on sleep where they figured out that if you eat stuff before you go to sleep, you're more inclined to have terrifying nightmares, which is just awesome to know, knowing that I went to bed after having a root beer float. Oops. So Danny, my advice is don't drink root beer floats before you go to sleep or you will have nightmares about zombie evil people and bridges and people getting their heads chopped off. It's awful. But now I'm gonna try to tackle what you were talking about in your video. I think achievement is definitely something that we should celebrate. And I think winning the Super Bowl is one of those ways that we can celebrate that achievement for football players. And I understand that they had to work hard in order to get to that point. But then there's also the point of working really hard to achieve something. And I think that should also be celebrated. It's why we have something like the MVP award. It's why I like to run races that give out medals, because I feel like all the training that I did should be celebrated in some way. Even if I come in dead last, I ran 8 miles or 13 or 26 or 50 or however long it is that you're running. But that took months of training and that should be recognized somehow. So I think it's really cool when races give out medals to all of the participants. And then there's the side of this conversation that's talking about like kids when they're really young and how they don't think that they should be given things saying that, oh, you were a participant. But when you're a kid, I think it's really good to have someone tell you, hey, you tried, and that's the important thing and should be celebrated. Not, hey, you sucked and you should just give up. Saying that you suck and telling you to give up when you're a kid is not what you should be telling children. I'm not saying that we should tell them, hey, you're good at everything, because that's not the case. They should learn what they are good at on their own. They shouldn't have someone else tell them that they suck. It should be an intrinsic journey for the kid to develop and to try to figure out what they are good at, and it shouldn't be an extrinsic hindrance from an adult telling them that they aren't good at that thing. And I guess I would say the same for adults, because we know what we're good at, we know what we're bad at. But self-esteem is something important that we should bolster. And on that note, Danny, I will see you tomorrow.